Hey, what's going on, guys? This is Chris from Orange Soul Fitness, and the question of the day is, can eggs kill you? Can they cause heart disease? There was a study a couple of days ago that says that eating more than one egg per day could. It was out of Sweden, and they actually demonstrated that men who ate more than one egg, normal men who ate more than one egg, actually exhibited increased risk of cardiovascular disease. On the other hand, men who were diabetic, who ate more than one egg per day, actually didn't demonstrate increased risk for cardiovascular disease. So what's going on? This is actually kind of confusing because in previous studies, it's been demonstrated that eggs actually didn't contribute to increased risk of heart disease. And in those studies, diabetic men were actually found to be increased risk of heart disease if they ate more than one egg per day. So what's going on with the conflicting reports? What's going on with the conflicting news? First, I want to encourage you to read the blog that goes along with this so you can see my references and check out what I'm saying, because I don't want you to think that I'm just talking out of my butt, and I don't want you to just believe everything I say, so I want you to check up on that. But what's going on in Sweden? Well, let's think about this. We found an increased risk of heart disease amongst normal men if they eat more than one egg per day, and no risk amongst diabetic men if they ate more than one egg per day. Well, one thing about Sweden is this: they are actually the pioneers of using low carb, high fat, moderate protein, ketogenic diets in order to treat diabetes. So the subjects in this study, and I wasn't on the study, so this is just conjecture, we're probably on a very low carb diet with high fat and moderate protein. And so what does that mean? Well, if you've read my previous blogs on saturated fat, you know that eating saturated fat outside of the presence of outside of the presence of a high carbohydrate diet and outside of the presence of excess sugar intake can actually not be bad for you. It's actually quite health beneficial. But if you eat a lot of saturated fat in the presence of a high carbohydrate diet, then you are putting yourself at increased risk of heart disease, because the combination of saturated fat and sugar can actually increase levels of total body chronic inflammation. So what do we get from all this? Well, the fact of the matter is this. One, there are no evil foods. There are foods that have a negative impact on your well-being in the context of a really bad diet. And so if you're wondering if eggs are bad for you or if eggs are going to kill you, they're not going to kill you. They're not bad for you. But they can have a really negative impact on you if you're eating them in the context of a lot of sugar and a high carbohydrate diet. On the other hand, if you're eating a low carb, high fat ketogenic diet, then eggs can be quite beneficial and can be a great addition, a great nutrient dense addition to your daily food intake. So that's the biggest thing. A lot of you out there are throwing in foods into your diet. A lot of you out there are consuming bulletproof coffee, for example. I drink coffee with butter and MCT oil every morning, but I do not follow that up with a high carbohydrate breakfast, which can be a really, really big mistake if you are consuming lots of grass-fed butter and coconut oil and eating a donut at the same time. That will raise your cholesterol, throw your blood lipid markers off, and increase your risk for heart disease. So when you do eat saturated fats, just make sure that they are not in the context of a lot of sugar and a lot of carbohydrates. As people have asked me before whether or not there's a time period between, and what I would say is you want to go off of your daily intake. So if you're having high carbohydrates one day, then that's probably not a day when you should be eating bacon or lots of eggs or lots of butter. But if you're consistently following a low carbohydrate profile of under 150 to 100 grams per day, then it's probably okay to add some saturated fats, some butter, some coconut oil, and things like that. I myself only consume under 50 grams of carbohydrates per day, so I eat lots of fat. Again, please check out the blog. I'm going to put a link below in the description box for all of you who want to check that out. I'm also going to put a link to my blog on saturated fat and why it's not bad for you. And if you have any questions, you hit me up at gettingyoushredded@gmail.com. It's Chris Alva, Warrior Soul Fitness. Peace.